Hello, and thank you for watching this live demo of PriceIt Software's latest offering, PriceIt Core. With us today, we have a gentleman from Pacific Printing down in Northampton, Massachusetts, Mr. Tim Bannister, who's been using PriceIt for a long time. And what I thought I'd do is get his professional opinion on Core. And it's because Tim is an industry leader and expert in screen printing and embroidery. And welcome to this demo of Core, Mr. Bannister. We really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. PriceIt's one of my favorite tools in my shop, and it's a pleasure to talk to you about it.
Well, thank you so much. Some of us really know you well, but for those who don't, how long have you been at this, and how long have you been with us?
Oh, geez. I'm one of those 19-year-old guys that actually decided to make T-shirts, and after a year into business, we got hooked up with major corporations, and it just turned into 35 years. And
wow.
Now we've got like a nice 8,000 square foot facility, a couple automatics, 21 heads of embroidery, and we ship all over the country now. So, I mean, it's turned into more of a monster than I ever imagined at 19 years old. But, you know, if you put some hard work into it, hopefully, you know, you can get there.
Well, it's always good to hear about people succeeding in this business, because a lot of folks, they don't make it. Sometimes they don't make it past the 2 to 5 year mark, but you've been doing this way longer than that. And you've been using PriceIt for a good portion of that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and Ronnie, and how you guys kind of connected and how that worked out?
Sure. I mean, my first probably 10 to 12 years, we struggled with trying to actually kind of keep ourselves organized on the database side as far as our customers.
Right.
And, you know, when you're starting a screen printing embroidery company, and, you know, first of all, you probably start with screen printing versus embroidery, but
right.
It's not easy to get all the work done and then get invoicing out and then make sure you've purchased all the garments and all of that. So, you know, for a good 12 years, we stumbled through that. And, you know, QuickBooks, that was the highest end invoice we could actually send our customer. And there was only so much at that time with QuickBooks that we could actually do. So when I met Ronnie down in Houston at an actual screen printing show, and we started talking and figured out we lived 50 miles away from each other. Crazy.
Small world, man. Small world.
Absolutely. So I started using Ronnie's software, and it got us up and running. It got us a database going. And you know, throughout the years, Ronnie's really, you know, developed this program to quite the monster. You know, if we use 80% of it, we have a ton of information on our customers, but we really do try to use as much of the program as possible. And one person feeding this thing, once you get to our size, one person feeding this program is just not enough. You need different departments feeding this thing. But it's great. I mean, at this point, I think we're over a terabyte of storage on our information for our customers and history. And we can look up customers 15 years ago and what they did and what color they used. And, you know,
right.
It's great no matter what. I mean, without this thing, I can't imagine even running an actual company for screen printing or embroidery.
Now you were talking about how, you know, you're kind of for 12 years kind of stumbling along, and do you feel like maybe in that time frame you left a lot of money on the table or on the floor, so to speak?
Oh my goodness. You know, if anybody knows about running an automatic screen printing machine, it is so easy to lose $1,000 in a minute. Just because, you know, before you know it. And then the other part is spelling, proofing, all of that, which the program now allows us to actually do that with our customers pretty seamlessly. Yeah, no, it's very easy to lose money in this industry. You've got to double check yourself. And I think a lot of it needs to be put on the customer as far as your proofing. You know what I mean? No guessing in this industry. You guess and you're going to eat something. So this program helps a lot as far as, making sure that, that part of it gets done with your customer.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've seen that, myself, and other shops that have talked to me about what they were going through prior to using any type of program like ours. And they're saying the same thing, that, it's so easy for money to just kind of slip through your hands and mistakes to happen. And this sort of mitigates that that whole thing, and helps keep things in focus. Now you use Master, right? So you use our Master version. So this is going to be something you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, as we've grown throughout the years, almost everything that PriceIt has thrown at us as an improvement throughout the years, we've just grabbed hold of and run with. The only thing I think that we're not using at this point is the payables, which we're actually looking to bring that in very soon.
Very cool. I'm sure certainly that'll help you out as well. And when you're ready for that, we'll be there ready to help you with that transition. So
perfect.
We appreciate that. And so this is you've used PriceIt Master for a while. This is PriceIt Core, and basically I'm sure you, from talking with Ron and seeing some of our marketing materials already, you know that this is a version that was developed to kind of just the core elements for like small and medium and startup shops, for them to get going without all the stuff they're probably not going to use. So this kind of takes the whole thing and boils it down to the goodness and the best things that are needed to kind of get going in this business for, a fraction of the cost of Master. So I'm really curious, from someone who's an industry expert, who's been in this a long time, very successful, what their opinion is of this particular piece of software. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to take a couple minutes here and show you through. And some of this may look familiar, but I'd like to get your thoughts on it, and feel free, Tim, at any time to ask me any questions. Okay.
Awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Well, of course, look along the top here. Some of this familiar, but we have most of our navigation is right across the top here, easily identifiable. This is where most of the work is going to happen in PriceIt Core. We have a status indicator here that pretty much tells you when anything's been done or what needs to be done. If I'm looking at this order just off the top of my head, I can see that items have been ordered, but they have not been checked in. And I can do that without having to thumb through a bunch of paperwork and find out what's going on. So there's that. And then there's a few other features we'll kind of go through as we go along. So basically, probably the easiest way is to just put an order together and start from there. And then we kind of dissect it as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new order up here in the top left, the big plus sign. And that's going to pull up a drop down menu. And we're going to choose from these types of jobs to do. For this one, we're going to do screen print. We're going to start off as an estimate, and we're going to do this in-house. So let's go ahead and create that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a customer, which, if there's already in the database, as you've already alluded to, there's quick and easy to find. If not, you can add it on the fly. It's not a problem. And we're going to grab that information. So now we have all this customer information that we've already had in PriceIt Core. The next thing I need to do now is just grab a product. And as you already know, we have products from most of the major vendors out there. We have S&S, Sanmar. We also have Alpha Broder and a few others. So I'm going to grab something from maybe from Alpha Broder. Let's grab a 3600 next level shirt, and we'll do some darks, and we'll do some black t-shirts. We'll just throw in some quantities here. And now we're going to go down to the pricing side of things. I'm going to click here, and we're going to make this a one color front and maybe a one color back. And I'm going to go ahead and calculate this order. And boom, just like that, now we've got an estimate that's ready to talk about, email out, or hand to them as a printed form. So let's go ahead and look at that estimate now. If I click on view estimate, here we go. And I can go ahead and I can email this out, or I can text this out. Both emailing and texting are integrated with PriceIt Core. And so let's just start off. I'll show you how the email interface works first. So I click on email, click down here. I'm going to just say request approval. And this drops a link in. this link is then sent to an email. And I'm going to go ahead and send this to us. And I'm going to open it up so everyone can see what that looks like. So I'm going to click on send through Gmail. Now, while I'm waiting for that to hit my email box, I'm going to show you what it looks like as a text. So I can also send this out as a text. Now, the great thing about texting, and you probably already know this, Tim, is like a lot of the folks that we service, and I'm sure some of the folks you serve, they're out in the field, they're out busy, they don't sit around their computers all the time like I do, and others. So they need to be able to get these things, and if they don't have anybody in their office, it could be a day or 2 or 3 before you hear a response on some of these estimates that are out. With a text,
Right.
which is integrated with Twilio. I think it's like $1 a month and a penny a message. We're able to send out a text message and get a quick reply. So you just would grab something from any of these canned responses, and you could add your own text if you'd like in here, which is fantastic. You can make up your own sort of canned responses or canned text that just saves you time. But you know, at the end of the day, we're just going to send out an estimate approval and then send it out, and then they can respond. They get it on their phone. They could be on a roof. They could be in their truck. They could be under a house, wherever on a ladder. Get that text, look at it, and then click a link, and then respond. So I'm gonna pull up my browser here, and I'm gonna grab this. So this is an email that came in from PriceIt CORE. This is what it looks like, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to click on this link right here. They also have a PDF version they can download and look at, print, or whatever they want to do, show it to their coworkers or boss or whatever. But I'm going to click this link. And I think you're going to like this, Tim, because this operates a little different than Master does right now. So I think you're going to love this. So when I click on approve this estimate, would you like to make a payment on this order? I'm going to say yes. It automatically takes you now to a way to make a payment without having to put a second link in that email.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely have to add that to our actual system. That's sweet.
Isn't that cool? That's so cool. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out for the customers of what to do next. Let's face it. I mean, you know, in this business, it's communication with that customer ultimately, and them knowing what to expect next. And this sort of takes that guesswork out for them.
Well, you know, one of the things that we've run across during our customers is, you know, they're very shy about giving their credit cards over the phone or anything like that. And this just seems like it gives a channel between that. Do you know what I mean? So that I'm not bothering them for their credit card number or anything like that. They're doing it all themselves.
Right. And you think, are you finding that you're getting a turnaround time on payments a lot quicker?
Oh, well, I mean, I think the program does that for us, because I mean, we're pretty much up to, you know what I mean? We're up to snuff as far as it used to be. I would get a job done and I wouldn't get an invoice out for a week. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, that alone, using this program, you know, oh my goodness, the checkbook's more healthy than it ever was without this program, you know?
Oh, that's so good to hear, man. That's awesome. That's what it's there for, right?
Absolutely.
So you've seen how that works. And I'm going to go back to PriceIt CORE now. If you look now, without me having to push convert to a job, it's already a job and it's ready to go. And now at this point, as running a shop, I know that there's some things that need to happen. If there's any notes that are need to go in, I could put them in here. Now, just as a side note, if you look here, this is lit up green email. That means I sent an email out. Had I sent that text out, this would be green as well. And again, that status indicator is awesome because it works in conjunction with the jobs in progress. If I click here, just at a quick glance, I can see what's going on in my shop and where I need to put attention. And that saves me a lot of clicking around and searching around and reading. It's just a quick glance. I know what's going on. And so I'm going to close this down now, and we're going to go over to notes. I love putting in notes because I don't have to click around to like 50 parts of the program to do it. I could just put them all in one convenient place and know that I did not miss a place to put notes. You know, how many times have we all in certain programs we've used know we should have put notes in and we didn't because we forgot, or we just missed a click here or there, and before you know it, they're coming back. People are coming back to us saying, oh, well, what was I supposed to do here? This just eliminates that whole thing. And if the customer responds to anything sent out in an email, or they log into let's say they respond to the invoice, any message coming from that customer will also be here as well. So you can also copy those customer notes and do what you need to do with them. So this is a fantastic tool. Just another layer of communication that makes the whole thing smoother and ultimately saves you a lot of time and makes the customer a whole lot happy. So I love that feature. It seems like a little thing. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I love it because of the way it's set up, and it just makes it a whole lot easier for everybody. At this point, I probably want to order some garments. So we have a garment ordering system, and I'm sure you're used to seeing something like this using Masters, but I'm going to click on ordered right here, and we're going to go to the garment purchasing. And at this point now, I'm just going to create a report. And what it's going to do is it's going to aggregate all of the open orders in the system. Now, right now I have no open orders. This is my demo. I have one item in here, but had there been a bunch of orders, this thing would be stacked all the way down to here. And ordering the garments, you can just simply, click in here, copy this to the clipboard. If I click in here, which is fantastic, you used to have to like click in here, copy, and then paste. But now I just simply click here, and then I go over to Alpha Broder's website and I just paste. And I start searching for those items. Once I find them and I drop them in my cart, I can click here and that copies it to ordered, and I can move on. It crosses it through. So now I don't have to go look at this again, and I move on to the next item, and so on and so on and so forth. Any questions or comments so far, Tim?
No, I mean, it's working as good as Master. I mean, right now I'm wondering, is Master, I'm wondering what the differences are. This thing looks like it has everything that mine does.
Yeah, it's got, like I said, it's got all those core features that you're probably already using in Master.
I mean, just that organization right there. I mean, I didn't think that the actual version would actually have that all purchasing and all the notes. Yeah, it's nice. Very nice.
Cool. Well, we'll do a little comparison at the end of this demo, and I'll show you like what Core has and what it doesn't have. And
Gotcha.
ultimately, we'll let the customers, they'll know, what they need. And so what I really like about this now is, like, now that I'm here, I could say copy to receive once the items come in. And we all know from supply and demand issues that sometimes things come in, they're short or ripped or whatever. So if I go back now, everything looks like it's ready to go except for what's going on with these garments. So I can look at this now and see that I'm one short, and I can make a decision at that point how I'm going to handle that. Everyone handles that a little differently, so we'll kind of leave that alone right there. Some people will put it on back order, or they'll just call the customer and say, can I use a different color? However you want to deal with that, but that just lets you know that you do have something to deal with. The names and numbers, which is really cool. Coach will send you a list of the team, what the color, the jersey is, the size, the number, the name, all that stuff, any notes associated with it. So this is something as well that helps folks out, especially if they're doing a lot of work for like college football teams, basketball, baseball, et cetera, where there's, big lists of people and they need their names on their garments. At this point now, we have gone this far. I wanted to show you what a work order looks like now. So if I go to the work order, here I can paste in any of the artwork to make it easier for whoever's working in the back. In production, I can put in mesh count, ink color. Of course, there's a note from when I put notes in. I just put the word note. So this is something that can be printed off and handed off, or they can log in and take a look at it themselves. Either way, however the business owner wants to do that. But this gives you a work order to work from when it's all filled out and you have the artwork and mesh count and ink color in. This is all ready for even next time you have the same job. All that information will be there. So let's just say we did this job for Brattleboro Music Festival. Let's say next year they call and say, hey, do the same thing you did last year. I would just search for Brattleboro Music Festival, pull up this order, and then I would click on reorder. Boom, everything's done. I could just start work on it immediately. When I click over here on lists, this kind of gives you a sort of a to-do list as administrative to-do lists, like what jobs are not done, what can I look at? Any of those, I can click here. Invoices not paid. I can go to the invoice. I can go to the payments that are on this, and then to the order itself, what's been not sent to QuickBooks, and then any payments that have not been sent to QuickBooks. This keeps us on our toes administratively to make sure that things are happening and moving along smoothly. That's another feature that we felt was really important to folks that are using PriceIt CORE. History is another one. I love history because I can come in here now and I can look up orders that were done last year, a specific time frame, any payments that were received or completed within a time frame by a certain sales rep. So I can drill down as far as I need to on this. I got a call from a customer a couple of days ago, and they said he can help us pull a report. So I was able to log in with them and pull a report based on the job type, a time frame, the sales rep that did it, and whether it was paid or not paid. And that was very quick and easy. And there is some reporting. There are some other reports that you can get. There are limited reporting within PriceIt CORE, so you're not left in the dark on what you've done in the past. So that helps out a lot. Send to QuickBooks, same sort of thing. It just does what it says. You click that button, it sends the payments over to QuickBooks. You don't have to do any double entry. And as you know, the devil's in the details, and especially in double entry, if you're trying to enter the same data in 2 or 3 different locations, this just prevents any sort of mistakes from happening. Over here on the left, we have shortcuts, and it's basically customers. We can come in here and manage your customers. One of the things I love about the customers is that you can sort of set some defaults for that customer. If you have terms with that customer, credit limit, a certain sales rep, what their tax authority is, if they're tax exempt, if they have a credit card on file, their address, things like that. That keeps that database. And I think you were saying your database is getting up to about 1 terabyte. So it sounds like something that you use quite a bit with your business down there at Pacific Printing, that you guys keep all your data in this thing. And we really do appreciate you've been letting us, trusting us to take care of that. And
well, if there's one thing that I would advise any person using this program, it would be use it. Put the images in, put the screen meshes in, put the ink colors in. It's so easy to actually just do those things without feeding this program, but it's feeding this program that's going to turn around and make that next job that much easier and that much error-free. So, like anything in the shop, it's a tool. And if you decide to only use it for one aspect, it's a great tool, but it really should be used in every aspect. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. That really is up to the person who actually runs the program and owns the company. But I've seen so many people that do use this program that don't use enough of it. We're going to skip putting the artwork in. We're going to skip putting the ink colors in. But that's the bonuses to this actual program that, keep you from losing money.
Absolutely. And that's something that we want to really encourage and communicate to our customers and future customers is the software is not going to save you. Program's not going to do all the work for you. It's a tool. Like you said, I can buy a hammer, but unless I'm swinging it, it's not doing me any good.
Right.
And, so those are some good, wise words from someone that I very much respect. And you don't do what you do for 35 years and not have some sort of insight on how things work. And
right.
I really hope that people hear that and are encouraged by that and take heed to that. A couple other things, before we wrap this up is, like I said, in here, we've got products, pricing, settings area. It's where you set everything up and go. Pricing, we have as many pricing matrices as you want. And you can adjust it by a percentage because, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, someone looking at this video may say, well, that's great, but I don't charge $11.49 for one color front, one color back. That's fine. There are plenty of areas where there are variables adjusting for pricing. And I'm going to show you quickly a couple of those. So if I click shift and click here, this takes us to product setup. Product comes in from Alpha at these prices. Then it runs through a baseline markup and a ship charge. Again, these are things that you can adjust however you feel works for your market and for your business model. Once it's gone through here and it has that price, then it runs through the pricing matrix. And again, you can actually assign a specific pricing matrix to a specific customer and or a set of customers, which is really powerful tool. It prevents any kind of mistakes later on if you hire someone to do your data entry and they don't know what price matrix to use. It's automated. They just put that customer in and automatically there's a pricing matrix attached to it. So that helps out quite a bit. A couple other things that are really cool. I can put in a customer, a PO number, a reference number. I can set a deadline for this so that I know, and then the date that it's completed on. Again, this helps out for historical references and also for reporting. That's pretty much it. There's a couple other little things in here like get paid. I like this because this tells me, who owes me money, and maybe if any follow-up is necessary, this is where I would start.
Could you show me what happens when you actually send a job out to another company and subcontract that out?
Yeah, sure. So like a contract work order.
Absolutely.
Sure. So let me convert this back to an estimate. And then I'm going to convert it back to a job. And this time I'm going to call it a job. I'm going to say we're going to contract it out. So now when I go to the work order, it's going to look a little bit different here. I could send this to, I could set a ship address. I could choose the contractor from a contractor setup list, which is really cool. And then I can email this out to that contractor, and we'll of course have all the information with that work order. So that's something that's really very helpful, because now when I'm working with that contractor, I don't have to go calling them up and talk to them on the phone or sending out a lengthy email. I just send them the work order. All the information's right here. They're ready to go. And that's pretty much it.
I have to say that feature is one of our greatest features, in the sense that there is a ton of work that we actually send out for ASI and promotional products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And once we've loaded and done a job with that actual vendor, we can pretty much evaluate that vendor. And if we go to use them again, I think that there's at least 100 and something vendors in our contractor list, and that just stays in the program.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're looking for anything, we can almost pretty much search through our contractors and say, all right, they do this. And then boom, we shoot them off that actual PO and get our quote, get our approval. And next thing we'll know, we're making money with phone calls and clicks.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear, man. Cause that's like, there's so much money that's left on the table in this industry. And it sounds to me like you've been very good at serving your customers down there that have specific needs, like, we need cups, or we need pens, or we need whatever. And it sounds to me like you're really well engaged with your community and with your customer base, and to have these sort of resources available to you to be able to send out to these contractors and have those relationships with those contractors is very key and important. So those are that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. Besides the actual money from the job, the time saving alone is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I can imagine what that would be like to try to search through and find all the information, try to manage that all through
every
different
single job. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a mess. Well, Tim, you've obviously been using us for a long time, and you're successful in this industry, and you've been with us a long time. What are that you've seen CORE, what are your thoughts on CORE, and what would you say to anybody looking at this?
Well, I'm pretty amazed at how many features there are versus the master version. I mean, I don't see a whole lot that is missing from the master to this, as far as what you really need to feed this program with. You were going to touch base on maybe a couple of things that basically were different about my master program versus this, but I really don't see anything that is missing from this for the beginner or the mid-sized company like me. So what you got?
Yeah. So let me show you this. We actually have our pricing thing laid out here, and this shows sort of what it can do. And as you've alluded to, it is a feature-rich product, and there's a lot to it. Some of the things we're not doing with CORE would be like a task manager, production scheduling, HubSpot integration, Inksoft integration, Shopify integration, UPS shipping, things like that. So job tracking, and there's a few other items on here. Text history, back orders. One of the biggest ones is that I would miss if we didn't have it would be the artwork approval, the interactive artwork approval. A lot like the feature set that's already in core for the approval of the estimate, only this is for the approval of the artwork. So very manageable without those features if you're starting off, and it's certainly something you can grow into eventually to get into the master version. You know,
That's
people will,
great. It's so crazy that, you know, there's so many programs out there and you have to put up thousands of dollars, and you guys are allowing people to get into this for $75 a month, and just blows my mind, because I mean, obviously if it doesn't work for them, they're going to know within the first 3 months.
exactly. Well, Tim, I do appreciate you taking your time to look at this, and your opinion does matter to us and to this industry. And I think we'll call it here and let the folks decide for themselves.
That sounds great. Hey, you know, you guys as a company to work with, every time we've reached out to you guys for either just a question in the program or to add something that we've found to be something that we need in the program itself, you guys have been fantastic, and you know, the customer service can't be greater. So
thank you so much.
I think that anyone getting involved with your company is going to be super successful.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Tim. And again, your opinion means a lot to us, and your time. And that is a good point. You know, we try to serve our customers the very best way that we can. When they call, they get a hold of Brian, myself, or Ron, and we don't put them on hold or make them run through a whole phone tree or pass people off all the time. We try to be there for them, and I think that has really paid off for us. And I thank you for noticing that and you know, bringing that up.
No, thank you guys again. Hey,
All
and you
right.
have a great day. Tell
You
Ronnie
too.
I said hi.
I will, Tim. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yep. Bye-bye.